Hey guys, Mythos Gamer here. Welcome back for our 8th turn of our second game. Before we get started, I have a correction I need to make from our last turn. And then after that, I want to do a quick overview of everyone's equipment. I'm not going to go through and read each one, just kind of a quick glance at what everybody has so that you can be up to date on what's going on. Last turn for Monster Movement, we had the triangle pop up, and for some reason, I wasn't paying attention and I totally overlooked the God of the Bloody Tome. So he will actually move from Independence Square to the downtown streets. And for our equipment, first we'll look at Harvey Walters. For unique items, he has the enchanted knife, the enchanted jewelry with 1 stamina token on it, and the Blue Watcher of the Pyramid. Moving on to his spells, he has the Shriveling and the Dread Curse of Azathoth. And lastly, he has the Fight skill. Next we're going to look at Carolyn Fern. She has 3 unique items. The first is the Lamp of Arazed. Next is the Holy Water. And then she also has the Gate Box. Her common items are the 45 automatic and the axe. Carolyn also has the marksman skill. Now we'll look at our third investigator, Jenny Barnes. She only has 1 unique item, the Sword of Glory. She has 2 common items, the Dynamite and the Derringer. She has 2 spells. The first is Find Gate, and the other is Bind Monster. She also has the skill Luck. And our final investigator, Ashcan Pete. He has the ally Duke, the unique item, the King in Yellow, the common item, Tommy Gun, and the stealth skill. Alright, that's it for our investigator update. We're going to move the first player token from Jenny to Ashcan and move on to our upkeep phase. Jenny's going to use her trust fund ability to gain $1. This will bring her up to $10. We really need to try to spend some of this money. We've built up quite a bit so far this game. We'll see what we can do. For Jenny's stats, right now she's at the Unnameable, with a gate she wants to close, and there's also a Warlock and a Dark Young there. Both of them give him -2 to sneak. With their sneak being 1, we could move it to 2, but it wouldn't make any difference. So we're probably going to have to fight the monsters this turn. They're both pretty tough. Her fight's maxed. We may have to use our Bind Monster spell. So we're going to increase our lore from 2 to 3. For Ashcan, he's becoming out of a gate this turn, so we're going to attempt to close it. Right now he has a fight of 5 and a lore of 0. With his fight being maxed out, I think we'll leave his stats the same this turn. Harvey Walters doesn't really have a lot going on this turn. He's 3 spaces away from the general store, and he does have $5. I'm thinking maybe we'll head that direction and attempt to get some more good common items. We'll leave his stats the same. Before we look at Carolyn's stats, we're going to use her psychology ability to restore 1 sanity. This will bring her back up to her maximum of 6 sanity. Carolyn also doesn't have a lot going on this turn, but she has $4. She's 2 spaces away from the general store. I think we're going to have her meet Harvey and give him some money so he can get a better item. We're not going to change her stats this turn. That is it for our upkeep, and we're going to go on to the movement phase. Ashcan is in the last area of the City of the Great Race, so you'll move out of the City of the Great Race and come out into the Black Cave. There's a Chthonian and a zombie waiting on him. Because he came through the gate this turn, he won't have to sneak by them or fight them. He does have an Explore token now, so maybe he can close the gate this turn. Next we have Harvey Walters with a movement of 3. He's going from the Silver Twilight Lodge to the French Hill. From the French Hill streets to Rivertown streets. And finally from Rivertown to the general store. Next we have Carolyn Fern's movement. We have a lot going on in this area. We have Harvey Walters, Ashcan, and Carolyn all in Rivertown. Carolyn has 3 movement points. She's going to go from the graveyard to Rivertown, and then from Rivertown to the general store. She has $4 she's going to give to Harvey. This will bring Harvey Walters up to a total of $9. Finally, we have Jenny Barnes' movement phase. She doesn't want to move. She has an explore token and doesn't want to lose it. Unfortunately, there's a Dark Young and a Warlock there. She can't sneak by him. Her sneak is too low. So we're going to have to fight. First, we're going to fight the Dark Young. The Dark Young has a +0 modifier to horror checks, doing 3 sanity damage if you fail, a -1 to combat checks, doing 3 stamina damage, 3 toughness, physical resistance, so we can't use any of our common items, and Nightmarish 1. Jenny has a fight of 4 and a will of 2. Because she has a will of 2, and the horror check rating is +0, she'll roll 2 dice. We got a success. However, because it has Nightmarish 1, Jenny will still take 1 sanity damage. For a combat check, Jenny's going to use her Sword of Glory. With a fight rating of 4, +6 from the Sword of Glory, and a -1 from the Dark Young, she'll get to roll 9 die. Dark Young has a toughness of 3, so we need 3 successes. Here are the first 5 dice. 1 success. And the second 4. 3 more successes. So we were able to kill the Dark Young. And Jenny will gain 3 toughness worth of monster trophies. And I'll move on to the Warlock. The Warlock has a -1 to horror checks, dealing 1 sanity damage, -3 to combat checks, doing 1 physical damage, 2 toughness, has magical immunity. If you pass a combat check against Warlock, return it to the box and gain 2 clue tokens. He's going to be pretty tough to kill. Our Sword of Glory is magical, and he's completely immune to it, so we'll have to use our spell, Bind Monster. The spell Bind Monster has a casting modifier of +4, a sanity cost of 2. Any phase, you can cast and discard the spell to pass 1 combat check. You must roll successes equal to the monster's toughness to cast the spell. This spell doesn't work on ancient ones. Bind Monster cost 2 sanity. Right now Jenny only has 3 sanity, but before she can cast that spell, she has to pass the horror check. With her will of 2 and -1 from the Warlock, she gets to roll 1 die for the horror check. She did not succeed, so she will take 1 sanity damage. Now Bind Monster is too expensive, and we'll have to fight him the old-fashioned way. I really don't want to use our dynamite on a Warlock, but if Jenny dies, then all that time spent in the gate was wasted. We need to try to close that gate this turn. We're going to discard our dynamite to give +8 to combat checks. With their fight of 4, and the Warlock's -3, she'll get to roll 9 die. We need 2 successes. Here are our first 5. And we got our 2 successes already. So if Warlock dies, Jenny gets 2 more toughness for the monster trophies. It costs us our dynamite, but now this turn hopefully Jenny can close that gate. I'm sorry, correction. Jenny will not gain him as monster trophies. She will gain 2 clue tokens, and the Warlock will go back to the monster bag. Alright, now we're moving on to the Arkham Encounters phase. Alright, for our Arkham Encounter phase, first we have Ashcan at the Black Cave. Instead of having an encounter, he's going to attempt to close the City of the Great Race. You can see it has a 0 modifier. He has a lore of 0 and a fight of 5. We're definitely going to use a fight for this, so we're going to roll 5 die and see if we can close the gate. And we got a success. Ashcan just closed the City of the Great Race gate, and we'll remove all monsters with the triangle symbol. We are removing the Chthonian. Don't worry about him damaging everyone in Arkham from here on out. And we're removing the God of the Bloody Tongue. He was only out for one turn, but thankfully we don't have to deal with him. Next we have Harvey Walters and Carolyn Fern at the general store. First is Harvey, and instead of having an encounter card, he's going to use the general store ability, Shop. Instead of having an encounter here, you may draw 3 common items and purchase one of them for its list price. Discard the other 2. The first one we drew is Food. During any phase you can discard food, reducing stamina loss by 1. It only costs $1, but it's definitely not what we're looking for. We're looking for some kind of weapon to help us out against the Ancient One if he wakes up. The second common item he drew is the Ancient Tome. And during movement, you can exhaust and spend 2 movement points to make a lore -1 check. If you pass, draw 1 spell and discard Ancient Tome. If you fail, nothing happens. We really don't need this at all. He's already got 2 powerful spells. And like I said, we're looking for a weapon, so definitely not getting this. And our third item is another food. Very unlucky for us this turn. The food only costs $1, so we're going to pick up one of those, and we'll still have $8 next turn to hopefully try again. Next we have Carolyn Fern's encounter card. You notice that some of the locals have an odd fish-like quality to them that sets your teeth on edge. The shopkeeper notices your gaze and nods. Marsh stock from over in Innsmouth. Watch yourself around them. Shivering, you lose 1 sanity. Definitely not a good encounter, but Carolyn can just heal that sanity up next turn, so not a huge loss. And now we have Ginny's encounter at the Unnameable. Instead of drawing an encounter card, we're going to attempt to close the gate again. It's going to be pretty tough. It's got a -3 to close. Just a quick reminder, Ginny has a fight of 4 and a lore of 3. This goes to show you that you really do need to plan out what investigator you send to what gate, and not just send the closest one like I did. It's going to be really tough for her to close this gate. She only has a fight of 4, and it's a -3, so the best we can do is roll 1 die, even if we increase her lore up to its max. So maybe we'll get lucky. And we did get lucky. Ginny is on a roll this turn. Killed 2 monsters and closed a gate. The gate that she just closed to relay has a plus symbol on it. There are only 3 monsters on the board right now. The zombie with a moon, the hound with a square, and the elder thing with a diamond. So no monsters just appear now. Okay, it is time for our Mythos phase. A gate and a monster are going to appear at the woods. And we drew another gate to relay. We drew a fire vampire for our monster. It is a star monster with a +0 to sneak. It does not cause a horror check, has a -2 to combat check, and does 2 stamina damage with 1 toughness. It has the ambush ability and physical immunity. Here's our gate and our fire vampire and the whole surrounding area. Because we opened a new gate, we will add our 8th Doom token to our Doom track. A clue token will appear at the Historical Society. Right now there is nothing at the Historical Society, so we will add our clue token. For monster movement, the only symbol we have on this Mythos card is a star, and that's our fire vampire. He's a flying monster, and there's no investigators in the streets, so he's going to move from the woods to the sky. And for the text, we have a headline. All quiet in Arkham. Each player may pass a luck -1 check to be blessed. This is great. Being blessed is extremely helpful. First we'll look at Ashcan. He has a luck of 3, so you'll roll 2 die. No successes for Ashcan. Next is Harvey Walters. He has a luck of only 1. With a -1 to his check, he doesn't get to roll at all. Moving on to Carolyn, she has a luck of 2, so she will get to roll 1 die. And she got success. Carolyn will be blessed. When a character is blessed during the upkeep phase, they have to roll a die and discard the blessing on a roll of 1. When rolling dice, you score successes on 4, 5, or 6. If you are cursed, discard this card instead of getting a curse. This basically turns half our dice rolls into successes. Last, we have Ginny Barnes with a luck of 3. She also has the luck skill, which gives her +1 luck. So with a +1 from her skill and a -1 from the Mythos card, she'll roll 3 die. And she also got a success. Jenny will also be blessed. And before we end our turn, we have to take care of our Southside Strangler Strikes rumor. The ally we are losing is Sir William Britton. He gives +1 to maximum stamina, and you can discard him to restore your stamina to its maximum value. Basically, he's the opposite of Duke. Duke gives you plus to sanity and restores it, and he does it to stamina. Alright guys, that's the end of our 8th turn. I know it was kind of a long one, but we managed to get through it. I will see you guys for turn number 9.